Hello, class. Welcome to week 4. This is Professor Wadsack again. I just wanted to preview some of the things we're doing this week just to make sure we're all on the same page. Right now, we have the week 4 folder. See, we're in week 4, essay 1. And you see the very first thing in this folder is the week 4 daily schedule. So let's click on that and check it out. What do we got here to do? Okay, it's a fairly lengthy schedule. If you notice, it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And it's not that it's a ton of work, but as you recall, I list the readings first. That's right here, all the readings, followed by the videos. And then we do the activities. And that's a listing basically of watch this video, watch this, or read this reading. And so all of this right here is kind of repeated down there. So it's not as if you have a ton of work. And then the graded activities are down below that. Okay, so let's check out the work you have to do. I'm going to bring us to activities. So you got to do these readings, the essay 1 assignment, Who Gets to Be Lucky, which I presume you read last week because I had posted it last week so that you could know the essay topic before you wrote the body paragraphs that you had to do last week. Underneath that is a revision checklist for essay 1. That is super important because the checklist is basically telling you how I will be grading the essay. So you want to make sure you read this revision checklist and go through the questions on it as you read your paper and make sure that you can check every box, that you have done the things that the checklist is asking about. All right, below that we have read in essay basic components, which is a subfolder within the week 4 readings. You're going to have essay format, essay 1. So that document's important because it explains the criteria for the format in your first essay. In other words, that is the document that talks about those important components you need to have. For example, your essay needs to have an introductory paragraph. That introductory paragraph needs to conclude with a thesis statement. So the thesis statement will be your last sentence in your introductory paragraph. Now that thesis statement needs to state what the main argument is for your paper. In other words, it's the main point that your paper will be making, that your essay will be communicating to the reader. And that thesis statement will be your answer to the essay 1 question. And if you remember, the essay 1 question is actually a two-parter. It is, who gets to be lucky? And how do we make more, or what can we change to make more people more lucky? So your thesis statement will be the answers to those questions. And you may even have some controlling ideas or thesis points entailed in that thesis statement. Now, body paragraph 1 will begin with a topic sentence, and a topic sentence will introduce the controlling idea for that body paragraph 1. And then the rest of that body paragraph just stays on that controlling idea. That's why it's called the controlling idea. It controls the paragraph. So you'll have a quotation from one of the 3 sources that your paper will have. And as you recall, your paper has to have 3 sources, and it has to have 3 quotations. Therefore, one quotation comes from one source, another from another, and the third from a third source. Now, as you recall, there is a statement of which sources you have to have. You have to use 2 for sure. One is Alan G. Johnson's What is a System of Privilege? And the other source that you're required to have is a quotation from Amy Hunter's video, Lucky Zip Codes. And then the other 2 sources from which you may draw are the other course materials that we have covered so far in class. One is Patricia Rice's Linguistic Profiling. The sound of your voice may determine if you get that apartment or not. That's one of the 2 other sources you may use. And the final source that you may use is the video if you recall, from week 2, A Life of Privilege Explained in a $400 Race. And so those are all included. I have all those 4 sources included in a special folder this week. And it is called, it's down here, I'm scrolling down so you can see it. Essay 1 Sources, Readings, Videos, and Notes for Review, subfolder within week 4 readings folder. And it's got those 4 sources in there. Now, you want to make, I also have the notes that I had gone over last week on each of those 4 sources. So I compiled them as a document and you may review them if you like. Okay. Now, those essays, they're posted, or those materials and the videos, they're posted, but of course, since you've already studied them in depth, you probably at this point only need to review them this week so that you can finalize which quotations you're using and which ideas, and make sure that you have plenty of information to share in your explanations, because of course each body paragraph needs to have an explanation of the quotation that you're using, and so you need to explain what it means and also how and why that quotation pertains to the overall argument that you're making about who gets to be lucky in our society and what could we change to make more people more lucky. All right, so again, body paragraph starts with a topic sentence that introduces the controlling idea. 1 controlling idea per body paragraph. Got to have a quotation from one of the 3 sources that's required. And you also have to have a discussion of the quotation and how it relates to your paper's overall argument. And then that body paragraph should conclude in a sentence that sort of recaps what that paragraph was talking about and make sure it relates it back to the overall argument. All right, then after body paragraph 1, you'll have body paragraph 2. And again, that one will start with a topic sentence, which will introduce a new controlling idea for this body paragraph. And after that, you'll have discussion and a quotation, or you might start, probably you'll introduce the quotation with a little bit of a discussion, then include the quotation, and then discuss it some more. Got to remember, make sure you explain what it means, how it relates to your point, your controlling point in that paragraph, and how it relates to the argument overall. And then end that paragraph with a concluding sentence. Now, you have to have at least 2 body paragraphs. I said 1 that would be answering, because we have 2 questions. Remember, we have who gets to be lucky and what can we change to make more people more lucky. So you want to have at least 2 body paragraphs. Now, you can format that essay in many different ways, right? Like you might have each body paragraph talk about who gets to be lucky and what can we change to make more people more lucky. And then in the next body paragraph, you might have another point about that. For example, you might say, these people get to be lucky. And so if those people are the lucky ones now, we can do this differently so that more people also get to be lucky. That would be a way to organize 2 body paragraphs. Now, if you wanted to have more than 2 body paragraphs, that's great. You could have 3 body paragraphs or 4 body paragraphs. Now, your essay is only 750 words at least, right? You can go over that if you want, but you don't want to go under it. So 2 to 4 body paragraphs is probably a good limit, but you can have more if you need. Now, the way you would organize a 3 body paragraph essay would be maybe the first body paragraph might talk about who gets to be lucky. Maybe the second one also talks about who gets to be lucky. And then maybe in your third body paragraph, you talk about what you could change to make more people more lucky. And you could address those 2 categories of people in that body paragraph. However, you may want to do 4 body paragraphs. You might have 3 different categories of people who get to be lucky. So you develop one in one body paragraph, another in another body paragraph, and another in a third body paragraph. And then your fourth, maybe you want to spend talking about what could we change to make more people more lucky. So we have these people, and those people. So we can change this, that, and the other so that more people can be lucky. Now, you could also organize that 4 body paragraph essay in a different way. You could say your first 2 body paragraphs, maybe they talk about who gets to be lucky, 2 different categories of people or 2 different reasons that certain people get to be lucky. And then the next two body paragraphs, they might talk about, well, this is what we can change to make more people more lucky, and that is what we can change to make more people more lucky. And they would probably reflect upon those earlier categories that you mentioned of people who get to be lucky, or those earlier reasons that certain people get to be lucky and others are not. And then finally, of course, after you're done with your body paragraphs, your concluding paragraph comes at that point. And the concluding paragraph needs to do two very important things. One is it needs to recap your paper's controlling ideas or thesis points, so it kind of restates the thesis statement to remind the reader what your paper was arguing for and what reasons it gave. So it kind of proves to the reader that, yes, you have, in fact, proven your thesis statement that you started off with. And then finally, that concluding paragraph has to importantly provide a sense of closure to your whole essay. In other words, a sense of finality or completeness. Like when I'm done reading that concluding paragraph, I feel, yes, the argument has been completed. We are done. It's kind of like when you watch a movie and you come to the end and it feels like the end. Yeah, like you're satisfied. You get that sense of satisfaction and completion because it is an appropriate ending. So you want to be able to do that too. And there are a couple different techniques on how to do that. And those techniques are gone over. If you look at the intersection readings here, we have concluding paragraph, drafting and revising. That'd be an excellent place to look if you're thinking, well, what could I do to provide that sense of completion to my essay? Well, there are techniques described here. For example, your essay wants to start with a hook, right? Something to reel the reader in, So some sort of interesting fact or quotation or insight or personal story. So you start off with something that's going to be an attention grabber to your audience. Now, in your concluding paragraph, you may want to revisit that attention grabber because then you've created like a full circle argument to your paper. Like it started here and you went through all these different reasons. And guess what? It came back to the beginning again. It has come full circle. And so we feel a sense of satisfaction and completion. So that is the essay format that you need to use for this essay, essay 1. All right. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me about those. Okay, let's look at some more of the activities we're doing this week. We have, scroll down, a lot of readings about the essay format, okay? For example, if you look in writing solutions this week, there's getting perspective on your writing, the revision process. So that is a way to actually look at your essay with fresh eyes after you've read it. Because a lot of times, if you read it right off the bat, after you finished writing it, you might just fill in the blanks in your brain. Your brain knows what you wanted to say. And so you might not be reading it with that fresh eye where you catch places that don't make sense maybe, or places where you maybe left out words, or used the wrong words even. Okay, so you can look at that, and then there's a sample student essay. So you can actually literally see how an essay should look from a student. Now, it's not the same topic that ours is on, but it actually draws from some similar readings as ours. I mean, some are going to be the same, and some we're going to maybe do in the future. So it's a slightly different essay topic, but it shows you that format that we've been talking about. And not only does it show us that essay format with those components, it shows you a way to organize the essay on the page. For example, you start with a paper heading and then a title, and then you indent paragraphs, and you use MLA format. You use quotations and parenthetical citations if you need. Well, we don't really need those in this essay. You don't need to do parenthetical. As long as you say the author's name and the title of the piece that you're drawing the quotation from and put the quotation in quotation marks, you're good. All right, great. But there's even the ICE method document here, which explains that MLA format, basically, how you do it. And there's a graphic organizer. That is so helpful because it literally, if you fill out the blanks in that, it is a perfect way for you to organize the essay according to our essay format. All right, so other things we're going to look at this week, we've got the magic of revision, and a video that will show you how to revise your own writing. Literally, we will outline it there.